Well, here we are in downtown Dallas in the West End Dart Rail Station platform at Antioch Church. And I've just finished a model men's Bible study with some guys from our church, and we're in a moment where we have a little ebb and flow in our day. You can see outside on the Dart platform that the crowd has thinned out a little bit. Its commute's over. Dejavon, our trusty barista, is here all the way from Brazil, who pulls such wonderful shots. We are so thankful for our coffee shop. Hey, I saw my friend DJ McPhail log on there all the way from South Africa. DJ, it's good to see you, man. I'd love to have some time with you. I'm going to share a little lesson in leadership in just a moment, something the Lord dropped into my heart from Luke chapter 10. Hi, Shaddy. Good to have you on board today, man, all the way from Beirut. I'll get started here in just a second, giving a chance for some people to log on. Here we are in downtown Dallas, and as you can see, the fall is starting. This is right outside our door. The trains pull up right outside our door, and we are so thankful for the location God has given us. Those of you that haven't been here and seen our building, it's really pretty incredible. We're thankful. And right here inside our church lobby, we have a Class A coffee shop. So I was settled in here with Pastor Larry Stogstall's Model Man book. We've been doing a Model Men Bible studies with the guys in our church, and we have 4 of these going on every week. And I was just studying a little bit, and I saw something in the Gospel of Luke that I want to share with our friends who are watching online, a little lesson in leadership. Here in Luke chapter 10, verse 1, it says, after the Lord appointed 72 others and sent them out 2 by 2 ahead of him to every town and place where he was about to go, he told them, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field. Go, I'm sending you out like lambs among wolves. Do not take a purse or bag or sandals, and do not greet anyone on the road. When you enter a house, first say, peace to this house. If someone who promotes peace is there, your peace will rest on them. If not, it will return to you. And then here's the part that really struck me this morning, verse 7. See if I can zoom in on that. Reading from the New International Version. Jesus said, stay there eating and drinking whatever they give you, for the worker deserves his wages. Do not move around from house to house. Do not move around from house. I have just been struck by that in the last few days. In fact, as I came out of our service on Sunday, I had been preaching a new expository series that I've started on the book of Philippians, where we're talking about what it is to live with an attitude of gratitude. And I was talking about being thankful for God's people, and I just referenced in passing this passage, and right as I was in the middle of my sermon, I sensed the Holy Spirit speak a word to me that I want to share with you today, something very simple, a principle of leadership. And that word was that we need to settle down and settle in. We need to settle down and settle in. You say, what do you mean by that? Well, Jesus sent out his disciples, and he told them to go everywhere, to every town and village, wherever he was about to go. And that's a powerful thing. He sent them to where he was about to show up, which is really cool. That means when Jesus calls us to do something, he calls us to do something that he's already prepared us to do. And we can know that, as the Apostle Paul put it in his epistles, that these are good works that he has ordained in advance, prepared in advance for us, that we might enter into them. And he also told them that when they went into every town and village, that if they went somewhere and that people were not willing to receive them, that they should shake the dust off their feet and go on down the road to the next town or village. But in the middle of all of this counsel that he gives them, he makes this statement. He said, when you go to a city, and if there's a man of peace there that welcomes you, that you should not move around from house to house, that you should settle down in the place where God has given you favor, and you should settle in and not be flighty, as we say in America, not move around too much. And as I've been thinking about that the last couple of days, I thought in my own life of what tremendous blessings and benefit I have experienced as I've walked out that principle, because favor is a divine gift of God. It's not the work of man. God gives favor when he wants to whoever he wants to, wherever he wants to. Sometimes it's with people we don't even like, but when he gives us favor, he wants us to walk out that favor. And right here in Dallas, one of the things, for example, that I've seen is we have some wonderful colleges and universities and also Bible schools and things of that nature. And sometimes young people will come here from another country and they will think, wow, I'm just going to be here a year, and there are wonderful churches, lots of famous, great churches. I'm just going to visit as many different churches as I can, go to as many different places as I can. I want to glean from every table. And I certainly understand that. Frankly, my personality is such that if I was here and I was a student in Bible school, that's probably the way that I would feel. And yet I've seen a pattern here in our church, and that is that the students who feel that the Lord has led them here, if they will settle down and settle in and fully engage with our local church and be faithful and get involved and volunteer every way that they can, as they do that, incredible blessing flows out of that. As they settle down and settle in, not only do they gain favor in this local house, and not only do they have opportunities for ministry that would not open to them if they were not here enough for us to get to know them, but also relationships develop that after they return to the field that they came from, the country that they came from. Those relationships are life-giving relationships and even tremendous sources of support. One young couple came to us a year ago from Brazil. They were only here 1 year, one school year, but they felt the Lord leading them to our church, and they settled down, they settled in. They were faithful, they engaged, they volunteered, they served, and by the time that year was over, that precious young couple had become like a son and a daughter to my wife and me, and really like a son and daughter to our house. In just 1 year, a brief period of time, relationships developed that now that they're back in the country that they came from are causing us to want to partner with them financially and pray with them, pray for them, walk alongside them, help them in a lot of different ways. And so there's a time and a place to move. God sometimes moves good people, and good people change churches for good reasons. And I'm not talking about something that is legalistic here, but I do believe that that word that Jesus said, do not move from house to house, is an important word in this hour and in this season, and especially for people who feel called by God to leadership and to ministry. Because if you want to bear fruit, you have to be planted and you have to put down roots. You can transplant fruit trees a few times, and if you throw massive amounts of fertilizer on them, you can maybe keep them alive. But if you're constantly digging a fruit tree up and planting it somewhere else, if you do that many times, that tree will never reach maturity, and its fruit will never be what it was created to be. And so, that's the word I felt from the Lord for you today. A little lesson in leadership taken from the Gospel of Luke chapter 10, verses 1 through 7. And when we go out into what God has called us to do, when we go out into what God has called us to be, that we need to settle down and we need to settle in. So, it's a little word right here from our Urban Blend coffee shop in the heart of downtown Dallas. We love you. God bless you. Have a great day.